I feel like I almost went through a roller coaster of emotions with Alabama. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna fight. Now, Carisha. If you wanted to say hi, just say that. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you feel like you had a little bit of that common sense that's not so common, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you don't, common sense is a disease that is highly contagious, so go ahead and hit that like or that subscribe button and you will catch it, I promise. Now, today on my channel, we're going to get into the pending laws in Alabama. The good, the bad, and the Yeah, okay. But before we get any deeper, remember, I don't have any law training and I don't have a law degree, so do not come for me. But before we get deeper, first and foremost, my name is Key and this is What's the Key.
For me, break, for me, break the body.
Now, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little update on Candy. Insert picture here. Y'all see those roots? I was scared. I know my OG plant experts are gonna be like, oh girl, you could have stuffed those roots in there. I was scared, okay? I was scared. I couldn't do it. So I didn't end up transferring Candy into a wine bottle that I did end up putting her in this beautiful glass bottle. And then as y'all could see from that picture, I end up using the top part that I propagated and put it into the wine bottle. So now it'll grow in there, which I think will be, you know, just as cute. It'll be its own little wine bottle. But that's my update on Candy and the plant for this video. We will see how it goes. The damage section was actually a little bigger than I thought. I'll insert a picture if I remember right here. Now, let's get into the material. As always, if you see me looking to the right, I'm looking at my notes, and any bell you're hearing is my cat City doing kitty things. Now, pending laws, the first one. Now, the first one's gonna sound real familiar, and it's gonna have to do with illegal immigration. Now, they're gonna develop procedures for arrest, detention, transportation of illegal aliens, and establish reporting requirements. So y'all, I was reading through this bill, getting ready, taking notes, and then they get to this part where they say that the act will be deemed the Laken-Riley Act.
God, please, no! 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 No!
And I was like, oh, we already know what that has to do. If you don't remember, it has to do with the Department of Homeland Security being able to detain any immigrant that has been convicted of theft, larceny, or shoplifting. It also allows the states to sue the federal government for damages due to alleged failure related to immigration enforcement of harm more than $100. Now, my quick opinions, I'm not gonna go too deep in it. You go ahead and check out the video. It's unfair. It's not fair. You can have people who haven't had a conviction for over 10, 15, 20 years end up being detained.
It just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
And these people are completely rehabilitated, living on their home, got their own families, you know, just not fair. What's crazy is, I feel like when it comes to immigration, all people think about is the Latino population. There are other cultures that are immigrants in the US from other countries outside of Mexico, because y'all seem to think it's only Mexico. But immigration laws don't just affect Latinos, and I feel like that's how a lot of people see this. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. Next bill. Now, this also has to do with illegal immigrants. And what they're doing for any of them that are convicted of a felony is enhancing their sentencing, okay? They are making everything extreme. When I say extreme, even for minors, if they are an illegal immigrant, any misdemeanor is automatically a Class C felony.
Fire everybody and escape now.
No. What Alabama is basically trying to do is like, hey, we heard you, ICE. This is just we heard you, ICE. Remember when ICE said they didn't have enough money? We ain't got enough beds for all this. We'll help you detain some people.
That's my opinion!
I might have to look more and go back in the Laken-Riley Act and now look at the states that are looking to enact their own, because if the federal government doesn't pass through. Matter of fact, I'm going to record that and y'all hear editing keep tell y'all if that has passed or not, because remember, I think it went through the House and the Senate.
Hey, y'all, it did pass. It passed on January 29th. It was signed by the president.
But if the federal one does not go through, there's probably a bunch of states like Alabama ready to have it as a state law. And in this time, I feel like we're going to have to depend on the states, our state legislators and the state laws to really get through this time. So illegal immigrants do not go to Alabama. Y'all probably wouldn't want to go there anyway.
Damn, bitch! What?
But yes, that is what they're doing. I feel like they're just finding a way to help ICE with space. They're finding a way in their state pretty much to detain an illegal immigrant for a very long time. What hurts me truly is the minor one automatically is a felony. So you're going to make them a felon at a young age.
That is so stupid.
For a misdemeanor offense, for anything that we would see as minor. So what they're basically saying is you better be on your P's and Q's and a perfect citizen or you can't be here.
I mean, it's just bullshit.
But like I said, they only see the Latino population. They're not seeing that there's other cultures within the U.S. that come from other countries. So those two laws, those immigration laws that we had were sponsored by two Republicans. The first one, House Bill 7, was sponsored by Ernie Yarborough. Second one was sponsored by Chip Brown. And we'll see Chip's name again as we go down. Moving on, let's get a little bit out of illegal immigration and go into Medicaid. Now, I think this is just a nice little law. All it is providing presumptive eligibility to pregnant women for Medicaid. So if a woman is pregnant and you know that they're going to be approved, you can start giving them the care. And I think it was like a max of about 3 months. Yeah, it was about a max of 3 months. So I don't see any problem in it. If you know and you feel like they're going to get approved, there's no reason to delay their care because Medicaid, Medicare, anything that's a state may take a little bit longer. So having those presumptive things in place are helpful for state-run programs. So I like it, no complaints. And that House bill was House Bill 89 and it was sponsored by Representative Marilyn Lands, a Democrat. Now, this next name we're going to see a lot, and it is Representative Wanda Lynn Given. This one is House Bill 50, and it's for abortion, and it authorized to preserve health of mother or if pregnancy result of rape or incest. The man convicted of rape or incest required to pay for abortion and undergo a vasectomy. Mother of the unborn child who undergoes the abortion to preserve her health, authorized to petition to require father of unborn child to pay for certain abortion costs. Judge authorized to excuse father from payment if he undergoes vasectomy.
What the fuck?
Now, I should have dug a little deeper into this law because now that I'm looking at the summary, I'm over here like, okay, the man convicted of the rape or incest required to pay for abortion and undergo vasectomy.
Makes sense to me.
Y'all, this one's interesting. This one's interesting, okay? Am I mad that they're going to require a man who, for rape or incest, gets a woman pregnant and make him have to pay for the abortion and get a vasectomy? No. Keep it coming. And this one seems so extreme, but then again, it's like, but I know. I got enough men friends to know. Some of you going to be like, what about false accusations? And then that's where the extreme part comes from. Yeah. That my incest? I don't think any of us are arguing about that one, right? Nobody? Nope. No argues? Okay. The great, I can see some of y'all pushbacks because of false accusations. Okay. And I know some of the men are also thinking, what about the women? If they rape us, are we going to be taking away their ovaries? And they should. Wait a minute. Vasectomies are reversible. As far as I remember. They're reversible. That's why they always say they don't understand why women are on birth control when men could just get a vasectomy until they're ready to have children. But after seeing her provide quotes on it saying how we're constantly policing women's bodies, let's police some of men's bodies. I don't know if this bill would necessarily pass through or if she was doing this just to make a point. You know what they should do as I'm sitting here reading this? With the whole vasectomy thing. I think they should do it with child support too. If a person has a kid, can't afford the kid. Matter of fact, if they find a way to find a reversible one for women, then we need to get the women on it too. But I'm also that person that understands women have to hold it for 9 months. Men can go make a baby every day in those 9 months. A woman cannot. So it should start with men. But I feel like if they don't pay child support, then boom, give them a vasectomy. After that one child, when you prove that you can't afford one child, give them a vasectomy. I really wish they had a woman version. Hell, at this point, everybody get a vasectomy version. So the government deem you ready to have kids. But then we know that to get real racist real quick, so we can't do that. All right, y'all, moving on. Senate Bill 18, and this is by Senator Marika Coleman Evans, who is a Democrat. And it's for child support. And it retroactively provides child support in certain instances, okay? If a child support order is instituted within the first year after the birth of the child, the order can be retroactive to 9 months prior to the birth of the child, so throughout the pregnancy. I don't see an issue with that. Otherwise, in that bill, it's limited to 2 years for the most part. Next bill, House Bill 33, and this was by Representative Reed Ingram, and he's a Republican. And I like this bill. I like it. And I think one of my commenters is gonna like this as well. I'm gonna put their comment in here. But this is a bill that helped pilot a program created for detaining juveniles who create a non-violent offense. The program, as I look through it, is similar to South Carolina's, except South Carolina said first time non-violent. They're just saying non-violent offenses. And my comment, she stated that she wished they didn't mix non-violent and violent offenders. And I wholeheartedly agree. And it has to start young. Because I feel like once this program goes into place, then it speaks for itself. Because you don't have the repeat offenders. You get less adults over the years. You might have to wait about a decade, 5 to 10 years to see results. But I love it. I like it. I like this bill as well. I wish they'd take this to colleges. All right? But for public and non-public K-12 schools are prohibited from refusing to transfer student records based on unpaid balance owed by a student, including private, religious, all of them. Every school. They're like, we don't care if you're a private school. You're in the state of Alabama, you're going to get a kid. That is very debilitating if you wouldn't even give a kid their high school diploma based off past due payments when that child wasn't even technically old enough to be working for most of their time there.
I need some people's brain cells to start kissing and create a connection so that way we can utilize comments. Like, blow the dust off of your common sense and utilize it, please.
Especially in private schools. Public schools dang sure shouldn't be holding any records because of money. So I like that bill. Like I said, you're penalizing a child for something that's not their fault. It's not their fault that their parents couldn't afford the fees, and they shouldn't be able to turn 16, be able to get a job, and then all of a sudden have to start paying off their own fees for school, for K through 12. And like I said, you need the records, you need a high school diploma, you need the vaccinations. Just makes things easier when they move on to a trade school or a college or anything other than that afterwards, even if it's just going straight into the job field. But I like that one, Matt Simpson. I like that one a lot. Next one is House Bill 65 by Representative Patrick Sellers, who is a Democrat. And they're requiring the State Board of Education to adopt a model for cell phone use and limit cell phone use during schools. Like I said in my last video, I can't remember the state, but yes, kids are too addicted to social media. Kids are getting a phone at younger and younger ages and being able to work them efficiently. We need to stop the recording in schools of students because it's getting to the point where students are feeling more embarrassed than anything. You got people going the extra mile to look extra good for school, and you shouldn't have to worry about that, especially not K through 12. So I like that bill, no problem with it. And of course, they always have the exceptions in the cases of emergency. But I always feel like that should be common sense. We know that. Common folk perspective. Next bill is Senate Bill 13 by Senator Gerald Allen, who is a Republican. And this will require the broadcast of the Star Spangled Banner weekly. It's a proposed constitutional amendment for at least the first stanza to be paid once per week. Do I feel like it's a big deal? No. But this is what you want to spend your time on right now?
But you did this for what? Why not? Why? Why not? Why though?
Everything going on right now, and this is what you want to introduce, Gerald Allen. I guess. Next bill, House Bill 67, and this one was sponsored by Scott Stadthagen.
Stop it. Get some help.
You see it here. Who is a Republican. And there are two parts to this bill, okay? First part, public school K through 12 or public library shall not knowingly present or sponsor any drag performance in the presence of a minor without the consent of the minor's parent or legal guardian. Yeah, coming at my LGBT folk again in a little bit.
I lied.
Now, my thing is, growing up,
Back to my day.
I thought every assembly you had, in schools at least, had a permission slip. So I don't understand calling that out in a public school. I felt like, I mean, maybe they don't in Alabama, maybe they don't require it, but I remember we always had to get a permission slip to be able to go to the assemblies. And I felt like it was in place just in case your child was in trouble or anything like that, because you know a lot of them were I can't even think of what we call them, the spirit rallies, plays, talent shows, etc. So it was a lot of fun stuff that you would get out of class for. So that's what I thought they had the permission slips in place for. It's just in case you want to get that child extra. No, they're grounded. They don't need to go see it. If it's not required, blah, blah, blah. But then I see the public library aspect. Any child could just walk into a public library and then see it. Again, this is what y'all are worried about. It's just, it doesn't seem like something that you just gotta take the time. Like, is it a big thing in Alabama?
Y'all, also when I say big deal, I mean, are parents and them out there complaining? Are people protesting? Are the schools just having so many drag shows and the public libraries having so many drag shows that parents are complaining? Okay? And then I looked it up and no, they're just doing this because they're seeing drag shows become mainstreams and they want to start restricting it in the state. That's the purpose of it. That's it.
But that's what you feel like worrying about? Now, the second part of this bill, I don't mind. The first part of that bill, as y'all can imagine, has controversy, people pushing back. Second part of this bill, I don't mind. It says, during any overnight program for minors operated or sponsored by any state department, agency, board, or commission where attendees share multi-occupancy bathrooms, changing facilities, or sleeping quarters, no minor shall share a multi-occupancy bathroom, changing facility, or sleeping quarter with a member of the opposite sex unless the individuals are members of the same family, such as parent, legal guardian, sibling, or grandparent, and the minor has received approval from the parent or guardian to do so, okay? Keep them separate. I don't have anything to complain about. Overnight stays, yeah, you need to have the facilities. It's separate. Keep the facilities separate. I don't feel like they should have to say that. But yeah, you do. Now, next House bill, we're going to see Miss Gwendolyn Given again, who is a Democrat. This is House Bill 19. And this one, at first I was like, yeah. And then I was like, when I saw this comment, and then I was like, well, and y'all gonna see why. So, what this bill is doing is creating an Ebony alert system to send an alert to assist in the recovery of Black youth, including a young woman or girl under certain circumstances. Within, and this is the part that had me like, what? Within certain geographical locations. And this would be for the youth between the ages of 12 and 25. There was a comment on there that stated, we already have an Amber Alert, stop wasting state money. And when I first saw it, I was like, what?
Be nice. I'm finding it.
But then I thought about it. And I had to ask myself a question and look through this bill and look for the answers to my question. Because in my mind, he was saying, you don't need to spend money on Black people. And I was like, hold on. Obviously, I'm already ready to defend us. And we won. Oh, first of all, happy Black History Month. Black is hot, all right? Black life, opportunities, culture, and connection. But back to the video, I had to find out, was there still going to be an Amber Alert? And I could not find the answer to that question in my bill. Miss Gwendolyn Given, I need an answer.
I need an answer ASAP.
Give me an answer.
I need an answer. I need to know. Was there still going to be an Amber Alert? I didn't see anything in there that said that this Ebony Alert was going to be addition. And then you're saying within a geographical location, so we're just going to limit it to Alabama. So when somebody goes outside of, and I get that you're going to have your criteria, but people can move. And then as I'm thinking of this, I'm like, oh, I don't like how the guy had his comment. But I agree. We have Amber Alert. Why are we making an Ebony Alert? To be within a certain geographical location, unless it's going to be with addition to. Because at first I was looking like, wait, so we're going to make a whole new Ebony? And I just feel like you put Ebony in front of words, people will start to ignore. I don't think we need to decipher whether it's a black or white child missing. Well, I guess they're going to do that anyway, but when they see Ebony Alert, I feel like people are just going to be like, oh, well, as opposed to even going to look at it in some cases. I don't know, Alabama in my mind is still a little bit racist to me. I know it's a lot of black people down there, but it's still a little racist to me.
I don't want to hear that. Because first of all, how do you know? How do you know that that's true? How do you know that?
But that's just the questions I had, and I need answers to that. 'Cause I don't like this Ebony Alert. I don't like him. I'm sorry, Miss Gibbs. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's my opinion!
I need answers because it specifies within certain geographical locations. I need to know if this is going to be inclusive with the Ebony and with the Amber Alert. And even then, is it needed? Is it like, I can't, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Do y'all think this Ebony Alert is needed? Because from what I'm thinking, I don't feel like it's really needed. I really do want to know y'all thoughts to this one, though. Let me know y'all thoughts. Next one, House Bill 22 is by Miss Wandalyn Gibbon again. And it is for the people. And it's to make Juneteenth a state holiday. No problem with that. House Bill 74 is by Representative Mark Shirey, who's a Republican. And this is taxation, sales tax exemption, sales and use tax exemption provided for purchase of optical aids, including eyeglasses and contact lenses. And Mark, because the amount of money I have to pay to be able to be a functional member in this society, yeah, some of y'all are laughing, but if I didn't wear glasses, how y'all expect me to work and be functional?
I need an answer ASAP. Give me an answer.
It's crazy. So if they eliminate that sales and use tax, I'm not mad at it. I like it. Mark it, Mark. House Bill 92. Now we back to seeing Chip Brown again. Okay, and I ain't mad at him for this one. And okay, Carisha. And what this one is the Alabama Seagrass Restoration Task Force. And it's put it in place to address the seagrass laws that they're having. So y'all know I'm all for the environment. Go ahead, Chip. Leave the immigrants alone. Go ahead with the seagrass. Next one. House Bill 27 by Miss Carrie Underwood, a Republican.
Now, Mr. Carey, I'd like to apologize for calling you a she. This goes to show y'all I don't be looking up these people's pictures until it's time to edit. I'm sorry, Mr. Carey. It is indeed a he. Carey is a he.
I ain't mad at this. And this one has been added into an existing bill. And it restricts them from being employed and volunteering in positions for first responders. Like I said, it's amended. They already had restrictions. They added in first responders. I'm not mad at it. First responders have access to children. First responders have access to a lot of people, men and women too. Don't forget there are men victims. So I'm not mad that they can't be a first responder. Senate Bill 23. Now, this one is by Marika Coleman Evans, who is a Democrat. What Marika is gonna do, because this bill, the next bill, alright, she trying to tell them police officers to calm the f down.
Oh, yeah.
But Senate Bill 23 is relating to the criminal procedure, and it will prohibit a law enforcement officer from using a taser on a restrained individual. I'm not mad at it. You shouldn't be doing anything that somebody wants to restrain. You shouldn't. But using the taser is crazy. Even if they're running, they can only get so far. without being able to use their arms. Although I know we've all seen them videos that guy running with his hands behind his back and took off. But that ain't everyday folk. Some people, need their arms. So I'm not mad at that one. The next one she introduced was Senate Bill 24. And under the current law for Alabama, a recording made by a body-worn camera or dashboard used by a law enforcement agency may only be disclosed to an individual or personal representative of an individual whose image or voice is the subject of the recording. Okay, so their body camera or dashboard footage, only accessible if you were part of the footage or representative of anybody that was part of the footage. This Senate bill that she's adding in would allow a recording made by a body-worn camera or dashboard camera used by law enforcement to be considered a public record, making the recording subject to public inspection. I'm not mad at it, okay? This bill will require custodial law enforcement agency to release the recordings within 30 days of a request. This bill would also provide for an appeals process if a law enforcement agency fails to provide a requested recording. I slightly think this bill will pass because there are still a large group of people who think that police officers do no wrong. They say, well, you didn't see the whole thing. Well, now we will. We'll have the dashboard and the body cam footage. I like it. I like the Marika Coleman Evans, her picture being here for sure. I like the two bills that she put out, okay? I like her bills. And I like Mark Reed and Matt's bills as well. Glasses, children don't have to pay fees, juvenile program, love it all. They came in and said, we mean business. We got to do. Okay? But like I said, as employees of the public people, I feel like they should have to release that footage. All right? We don't need to know the details necessary of the case because that can't interfere with an investigation. Too much public opinion. But I think they should be required to release the body cam footage. Now, I know some of y'all like, do it right away. No, they need that 30 days. In the case, they need to pick a jury. Okay? The jury needs to be less exposed as possible. And it is harder and harder, I know, nowadays with social media. So I think the 30 days that they have in place isn't bad. It can be sooner. But having a max of 30 days isn't bad if they do have to get to a point where they have to have a jury selection and all this other stuff. Last bill, and we're back to Miss Wandling Gibbon again, all right, a Democrat. And this would make it unlawful for a person to deny an individual full and equal enjoyment of public accommodations or for an employer to discriminate against an applicant or an employee based upon an individual's weight or body size. And the state can bring cause of action against an employer who does so. Do I feel like there should be reasonable accommodations for people who are bigger? Yes, but we got to be reasonable. They have to, one, choose those accommodations, and two, some of them have to realize if you get to a size that is just so abnormal, it is going to be harder to accommodate you because you're asking them to pay a lot of money for something they don't typically need. And you're going to have to understand that it is going to cost you more because they're not paying you money for something that's typically need. But I know for employers, there should be no reason you're denying somebody because of their weight if their weight has nothing to do with how they're doing their job. Like if the person's going to be sitting at a desk all day, there's no reason they should be denied because of their weight. Honestly, y'all need to start looking at brains more when y'all hire people. This also brings me to this current Lyft situation with this woman rapper who they say is about 450 plus pounds. She was trying to get to this guy's car. He would not let her in because he said the car was too small. Now, I don't think the guy is rude. I'm just gonna give y'all a quick opinion. I don't think the guy is rude. I think Lyft needs to apologize to that guy, and they could, yes, apologize to her for feeling bad, but Lyft should not be settled with her in this lawsuit. Because there was reasonable accommodations for her. She could have ordered a bigger lift. And then with the pictures and the evidence that is out there of her being in a bigger car and how she was already just real tight in that bigger car, I don't feel like it's fair. Yes, I think they should have accommodations. I also think we need to be reasonable and know that it may cost more and don't feel embarrassed. I feel like, honestly, the lawsuit is coming out of embarrassment. And I remember another situation got brought up about a little boy who was overweight, who they were telling him he was too big for the ride, but they still put him on there anyway, didn't end up falling off and passing away. People have restrictions in place for a reason. And I didn't like how people started going in on the man. Oh, his car sound like he shouldn't have a car like that. No. Why are y'all like, no. What does his car have to do with anything? Obviously, it was getting people from point A to point B. He's been driving Lyft. And obviously, with the sound of his car, he needed Lyft. And then he got fired, which I really don't think is fair. But like I said, ultimately, yes, you should have accommodations for people who are bigger. But yes, we also need to realize that those accommodations may not be the exact same or the same cost as everybody else's. Because it does cost the companies more. And like I saw one advocate saying, hey, yeah, they need to make bigger spaces, make bigger chairs. And I'm just like, but you're asking us to make bigger seats so that one person can fit the seat of normal of 4 people, and then you want every chair to be that. Because in a lot of this, let me stop. But y'all, that brings us to the end of the video. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like I said, I really want to know y'all opinions on that Ebony alert system. I really want to know what y'all think when y'all just hearing about it. Remember, all these bills are introduced. Nothing is set in stone yet. Okay, but let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
For me, break, for me, break that body for me.